Hey everyone, our lesson today is on fractions part 4. Our focus today is mixed numbers. Here's an example of a mixed number, 1 and 2/3. And a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction combined. So here you can see 1 is our whole number in this example, and 2/3 is our fraction. Remember that a fraction has three parts, a numerator, a denominator, and then you have your fraction bar here in the middle. Here is our 1 and 2/3 model, our 1 whole, it's right here, and then this fraction here would be 1, 2 shaded red out of a total of 1, 2, 3 parts for 1 and 2/3. So our our mixed number today is 1 and 2/3. There are four kinds of fractions. Whole fractions are fractions that have the same numerator and denominator, in this case 3/3, and they always are equal to 1 whole. If you look at our example here, we would say that there are 1, 2, 3 total parts, and 3 are shaded yellow, 1, 2, 3, and that would be equal to 1 whole. Uh, any fraction with the same top and bottom number would be equal to 1 whole. It could be 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, 10/10. If the top and bottom are the same, it's a fraction, it would be equal to 1 whole. A proper fraction is a fraction where the numerator on top is less than the denominator on the bottom. Here we have 2/3, and a proper fraction, the value is less than 1 whole. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3 total sections, but only 2, 1, 2 are shaded green, which is less than the whole. So this is a proper fraction of 2/3. Improper fractions are when the numerator on top is greater than the number on the bottom, in this case 4/3. And it's modeled this way. We can see this part here is 1, 2, 3 total sections, and 1, 2, 3 are shaded gray. And then down here we have 1 shaded gray out of a total of, again, 1, 2, 3. If we were to add those together, we would have our 4/3, which is an improper fraction. Another way to look at it is that these are thirds in the top, these are thirds, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see that 4 there? And that's our 4/3. Mixed numbers, which is our focus today, is when you have a whole number and a fraction, in this case 1 and 1/3. Uh, they are similar to improper fractions, and remember that they both represent values that are greater than 1. We have 1, 2, 3 purple out of a total of 3 sections, but remember that a whole fraction, which we said on the other page, would be equal to 1 whole. So in this case, we're choosing to express it as 1 whole instead of our fraction. Here we have 1 purple out of a total of 1, 2, 3 sections, and when we put that together, we would get our mixed number of 1 and 1/3. Mixed numbers and improper fractions are related, and it's really important to be able to change from one form, from mixed number, to an improper fraction. So let's just take a look at that. Notice here that we have a mixed number modeled, and I wrote it down here just to keep it simple. This is 1 and 2/3. Well, here's your 1 whole, and here is your 2 red out of a total of 3 for 1 and 2/3. Notice the exact same model is over here, but this is an improper fraction, so we're going to express it as a fraction, not as a whole. What we have here, remember, an improper fraction has a greater top. We would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red sections, and they are thirds. This side is a 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, so 5/3. How do we change from a mixed number to an improper fraction? Well, our steps are to multiply, add, and then write the sum over the denominator. Let me show you how that works. So here we have 1 and 2/3, and our goal is to change it into 5/3. How do we do that? We start with our denominator, And we're going to kind of work in a direction like this. We're going to multiply and then add. We're going to start here and go 3 times 1. I'm just going to show that down here. 3 times 1 equal to 3. 3 times 1, and then we add the 2. So if I take the 3 and I say, well, 3 plus 2 equals 5. So here we go with 5. You see how that 5 kind of comes up here? And that's our 5/3. Our last step is that we write over the denominator. Where did we get this 3? Right here. We did not change our denominator. Remember, an improper fraction is a fraction, and a fraction has 3 parts: a numerator on top, denominator on bottom, and our fraction bar. So in this case, our denominator did not change. That stayed the same. Let's try another one. Here we want to change the mixed number represented here into an improper fraction. Okay, well, let's find out our mixed number. What I'm looking at is, remember, a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. I'm seeing 1, 2 that are completely shaded, so that's 2 wholes. This here is a fraction, 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 2 3/5. We want to change 2 3/5 into an improper fraction. A good tip is just to draw your fraction bar. That just kind of keeps you focused. And we're going to start with this whole idea of kind of going in a clockwise direction, and we're going to multiply and add. Here's our 3 steps. First step is to multiply our, our whole number, which is 2, by our denominator. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So how did I get this 10? 5 times 2. There's 10. My next step is to add. I take my 10, now not the 2, we take the 10 that we got and add it to 3. I can use pin dots, 10, 11, 12, 13. And our last step is to write the sum over the denominator. That's our 5. So 2 3/5, which is our mixed number, is equal to an improper fraction of 13 over 5, or 13/5. I can prove that over here. The total number of shaded sections should equal 13 if we did this correctly. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So there you can see we're just proving what we did here mathematically with our model. If you would like to practice, just go ahead and pause for a second. I'm going to go ahead and solve. We're going to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. 1 4/6. Well, I know that an improper fraction needs a fraction bar, and I also know that it's going to be 6. Same thing down here. In this case, it would be tenths. Okay, so we're going to go in our clockwise motion, and we're going to multiply and add. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 4, if you're not sure, you could just use pin dots. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And our improper fraction is 10/6. On the bottom here, we would do the same thing. We're going to go in our clockwise motion. We're going to multiply, then add. 10 times 2 is 20. And then 20, 21, 22, 23. When we add, we get a total of 23 tenths, or 23 over 10 for our improper fraction. Okay, everybody. Hopefully this has been helpful today. Remember that our lesson is on fractions today, and the focus was on mixed numbers. We said that a mixed number is when you have a whole number and a fraction, and it represents a value that is greater than 1. We said that it's important to be able to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction. And we showed a couple examples of that today. You just simply multiply your bottom number by your whole number and then add your top number. All right, hope that's helpful, and we'll see you next time.